First, let me say that I am confident that I never sent nor received any information that was classified at the time it was sent and received. And what I think you're seeing here is a very typical kind of discussion, to some extent disagreement among various parts of the government over what should or should not be publicly released.
I wouldn't go horizontal stripes there in July. It's just me. Welcome back to Daily Wrap. Hillary's email problems continue to get worse, if that's possible. Today, a third cache, roughly 1,300 pages, were released, but the White House designated a number of those emails as classified and also heavily redacted numerous emails. The reason for the redactions? The information was obtained from a foreign government or was U.S. internal foreign policy information. Got that? According to a source to Fox News, Hillary Clinton's private server contained classified information from multiple intelligence agencies in addition to data connected to the 2012 Benghazi attack. Rick, at what point does this become criminal?
It becomes criminal if, in fact, she did use her personal account to send out classified information. I do believe that's a criminal violation on the books.
Then what happens if it is criminal?
Well, that's the interesting question, and Jonathan and I were talking about that before the show starts. You know, it's a little bit hard for me to believe that we'll see Hillary Clinton end up in jail.
But she was already wearing the stripes.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking when you said that. So I wonder if Jonathan likes that. But I do think that if we were to find out, and if it turns out that it was a slam dunk violation by using a personal email account, which, by the way, is a really bad thing to do, to send classified documents out, then she deserves whatever she gets, because you just can't do that. It's one thing for us to argue about whether or not she should be using a personal email account. You know, we know that she probably shouldn't be. We know that others have and all that. It takes on a whole new level when we get into this issue.
You know, so forget jail for a second. That obviously ends the campaign. And it's over, and then you're looking at Biden Kasich.
We had a guy get elected who was dead in one place before, but
that did happen.
Only
and
in
how
Chicago.
many people in New York right now are indicted and still serving office?
That's true.
But I think what you're saying, I agree with. But I think you could make an even more powerful argument if you just took the word "if" and put the word "did" in there.
Well, I'm not going to do that yet, because until we see the evidence,
she did.
Don't play
yeah,
that
but they've already said the inspectors general said if there's one, or if there's 4, or if there's 50, it doesn't matter.
I agree with that.
And ignorance of the law is no excuse.
But remember, the inspectors general also, and that's also true, but the inspectors general, despite the initial reports, did not turn this over for a criminal investigation. They turned it over for an investigation. If it turns out, though, and that's why I say if. You know, I still believe in American justice. You're innocent until you're proven guilty. If it turns out that it was a violation, then you got to prosecute it.
It depends on what the definition of the word "if"
is. If is.
Exactly.
If, right, something like that. Yeah. No, but jump in.
Yeah, I mean, if this continues, this continues to play out, if we continue to talk about the ifs rather than the dids, or put this all aside, she's going to have to go before a committee in the House in the next several months, and that's going to play out for several months, talking about Benghazi. And those emails are going to come into play, and I have no doubt they're going to pull up the emails that weren't redacted, or maybe they will. I have no idea what they'll have access to under this House committee. And she's going to have to talk about that.
That's the thing.
That won't get her elected.
Ever since this campaign began, I can't remember 2 days in a row where we've talked about a Hillary Clinton position or policy.
Exactly right.
This thing
we don't talk about her policies. We talk about her troubles.
Right. She also doesn't talk
by the
about
way,
policies
I'm
either.
not. I'm not complaining. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, we're treating Hillary badly." It's her fault
it's
that we're not talking about policies. And you're right. She's not talking about them either. So why should?
And I'll tell you, we mentioned this earlier when we were on break, is that if the Democratic Party decides she's too much of a hot ticket to push forward because something might happen, my prediction is the support for her will go away. And when that happens, the federal law enforcement will step forward, and you're going to see, you may see other things happen to Hillary that wouldn't have happened if she was still,
I'm reluctant to believe it, but I never say never.
They've got roots everywhere. I mean, you look at these justices, they go back 20, 30 years. I mean, there's relationships here. The one thing that they have is strong relationships, and their people protect.
Great poll out today that, I forget where it was from, I heard it on the way over here. 56% of Democrats who now support Hillary Clinton says they would leave her if Joe Biden, your boy, jumped into the race. You're so happy about this. Explain to the audience why Joe Biden would have a great chance.
Oh gosh, I have a list of reasons. Well, Joe Biden, he was elected at 29 years old, took office at 30, and so he is one of the longest-serving senators. One of the things that he's done in the Senate and in the past few years as vice president is he's been the president's ambassador of the Senate. He's gone in there and cut deals when we've had debt ceiling crises. Yeah, and Republicans who respect him, Republicans who admire him. Lindsey Graham teared up over Joe Biden the other day.
He was right about Iraq.
He was right about Iraq, and he was right about the answer to Iraq, the solution to Iraq, which we're now, all major generals are saying maybe we should have.
And as I like to point out about Joe Biden, go look at his finances. He's one of the poorest guys in government. All these years he's been in the Senate, he never made money off of it. He's an honest guy.
I want to say this one thing real quick, and I'm going to quote you. If we want to change this country, go fire everybody in government.
Well, yeah,
he's the longest standing guy.
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
That's what is that going to solve?
Yeah, you're still going to have somebody.
We got to go. We got to go. Coming up next, Obama 2016. We'll tell you about that. This is the Daily Wrap.